guys, I'm here today with another countdown video. This week's topic being eerily accurate predictions by writers or possibly time travelers. Number 5. The World Set Free by H.G. Wells. This is a novel written in 1913 and published in 1914 by H.G. Wells. The book is based on a prediction of nuclear weapons of a more destructive and uncontrollable sort than the world has yet seen. Wells created a world living in a nuclear age where he describes bombs which, when set off, cause a literal blazing continual explosion. In the same year the neutron was discovered, physicist Leo Szilard read this book and set in motion the inspiration for the deadly bombs that have rampaged across our world, leading to the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is one of those rare cases in which the darkness of a writer's imagination can be turned into a terrible weapon that grips the world, ironic considering the title. Number 4. Stand on Zanzibar by John Bronner. Stand on Zanzibar is a dystopian new wave science fiction novel first published in 1968. Set in 2010, it is widely regarded as one of the most prophetic novels ever. In this novel he created an America under the leadership of President Obama, where the country is plagued by school shootings and terrorist attacks. Considering its publishing date, that even creeps me out. Apart from a few syllables, it's not entirely wrong. Major cities like Detroit are practically wastelands and even marijuana is decriminalized. There are of course many other predictions within the story, such as electric cars and direct TV, but the first two definitely take the cake. Number 3. Looking Backward by Edward Bellamy. Published in 1888, Looking Backward is a utopian science fiction novel and was the third largest bestseller of its time. Bellamy created an American utopian society, wherein which in one element of the society he created a card with an allotted amount of credit citizens could use to make purchases. All citizens began with equal credit, but those with more dangerous or unpleasant jobs were given more credit. Thus came the first prediction of what we know of today as debit or credit cards, something no one can quite live without. It is interesting that he apparently also foresaw the existence of shopping malls, which is quite convenient as the two concepts go well together. Number 2. The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket by Edgar Allan Poe. This is one of those gory coincidences that make you blink twice before understanding that this actually happened. In 1838, Edgar Allan Poe released his only full novel, The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, claiming it to be based on true events. Ironically, this only turned out to be a half-lie, as the events did happen, just not at that time. One scene in the novel describes 4 crewmen on a whaling ship lost at sea who, out of food, drew lots to see who of them would be eaten by the others. The unfortunate cabin boy, Richard Parker, had fate set against him. Things get interesting 46 years later, however, when a disaster out at sea involving the millionaires became famous due to the legal consequences of the actions of those on board. Specifically, the act of the men who drew lots and decided to eat their cabin boy, named Richard Parker. Discovered decades later by a distant cousin named Nigel Parker, the bizarre story is either pure coincidence, a gruesome trick of fate, or perhaps Richard Parker is just a cursed name. Number 1. Futility or Wreck of the Titan by Morgan Robertson. This is a novella written in 1898 that serves as one of the eeriest predictions yet, dreaming up the sinking of the world-renowned Titanic. Its eeriness is earned largely by the sheer level of coincidences in the detail of the story, published 14 years before the Titanic was even finished being built. In the story, the Titan was described as the largest craft afloat and the greatest of the works of men, equal to that of a first-class hotel, and naturally unsinkable. Both ships were British-owned steel vessels, around 800 feet long, and sank after hitting an iceberg at around midnight in April in the North Atlantic. If that's not enough to leave you dumbfounded, the Titan was described as having crashed into an iceberg 400 miles from Newfoundland at 25 knots, which is not identical to the Titanic, but ridiculously close, as the Titanic too crashed into an iceberg 400 miles from Newfoundland, merely at 22.5 knots instead of 25 knots. Then, of course, both ships had too few lifeboats to accommodate every passenger on board, because who values life anyway? And that brings an end to this video. I hope you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe if you did, and comment down below. What books do you know of that predicted the future? Are there any topics you want me to research? Until next time, bye!